Everybody, welcome to the Scho-Zone. It's your host, Ryan Schofield, on the road right now from downtown Minneapolis. Apologies if anybody was supposed to be on the live stream earlier today. It was set to do it at 2 hour at 7 o'clock this morning, Central Time, so that would have been 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I've never had an issue not waking up to wake up at that time. Slept right through it. So good for me, bad for anyone that was listening on there. Anyways, but just getting started here. I still only got a little bit of coffee down right now, so I'll try and you'll see me wake up as this kind of proceeds throughout. If you choose to stick in, which the coffee kind of starts off my rant, I guess, for the morning. Actually, I said now I'm going to wake up when I get going with this. On the walk to the coffee place, I saw somebody. It's mostly people getting ready to go to work and whatnot. I'm kind of in an area that seems pretty professional. Felt like a douchebag wearing basically pajamas to go get a cup of coffee, but there's no bigger disappointment than any type of breakfast at a hotel. I make sure to seek out any hotel that does not include breakfast because, oh, cool, free breakfast. No, it's always the worst fucking complimentary breakfast ever. Or even if you do have someone that has the omelet station, the eggs that taste like sweat regardless, unless I see you actually cracking wet eggs and knocking it into a pan, not eating them. That's just no, not doing it. Can't do it to myself. So don't get breakfast here, and I didn't really know what the coffee situation was. I didn't want them to tell me they were going to charge me like $5 for a to-go coffee from their little fucking continental breakfast or something. So I figured let's see what the local spots are. Bunch of working buildings. You had to go to. Finally found a coffee spot, and this has been something I've been noticing. I don't drink coffee out very often. When I used to get coffee, it used to be like there's a lovely gas station by me, or before COVID, you used to be able to serve your own coffee, pour your own just about anywhere. Now it became a little more specialized, I guess we'll say, or they just got used to that. I always get asked because I drink my coffee black, do you want room for cream? No, I don't. Fill the fucking thing up. And they will always still leave a giant fucking spot for cream. And it's like, I always want to know, like, is that how much cream people put in coffee? Like, that's like fucking, like, that, that's like a quarter of I don't know, 4 ounces or whatever. I mean, like, as the coffee cup gets higher is where the prime real estate gets in, because think of how much you start sucking down those last ones on there. So when they're shorting me those top little on there, like, whenever I have a cup of coffee that is filled way too high to the top, I'm always thinking that it's going to be it's a good couple sips before you actually get to where it's not filled. They're shortchanging me, and then honestly, Minneapolis, I'm not sure if anyone's really going to like me. In person, it doesn't seem like anybody likes me, so I don't care what anyone what on the internet has to say. It's not that you guys are assholes. It's just that I don't know what the best way to put this one is. You're not good at being fake. I guess it's so your whole little being nice and hospitable, it seems very, very forced, almost a little too forced. And then it's like the second that you are done with being nice, you just move on. So again, I've harped on this a few times: the Minnesota nice and the Minnesota ice. But yeah, a lot of douchebags, a lot of douchebags. Yeah, for the most part, nobody really. They just give you the bare minimum. I mean, I had the one until last night, and it could have been me. I ate a shit ton of THC yesterday, but every time I've left my hotel, I've had to get my key changed because it'll start swiping red. So I get my key changed last night, and this had a couple of incidents with people that were not all with me on this one. I think I go to use the key, get it, it turns green. It would still, the door wasn't open, like the light would turn green, but the nothing was happening. I was just literally just swinging a flaccid fucking door handle, to call, for lack of a better term. So finally, somebody from the front desk comes or like that, and he gets it open, and I'm like, but the entire time he just had this fucking giant look. He was the maintenance guy. Looked at me like I was an idiot from the start, from the word go. And I'm just kind of thinking, dude, you're working at the overnight hotel maintenance. I just gave you something to do. What else are you gonna do with your fucking night, all right? And you get to feel good about yourself for a second. Don't make me feel like a fucking douchebag. I'm on the road. I'm high, but every other time I've been here, I've been able to use the key to get into the room, and then suddenly they start thinking I'm not. Which that became another thing too, is that they wanted me to test out my key on the door at the fitness center, just to see if it was my door or if it was the key or whatever. So, of course, I walked to the fitness center as there was this. I don't know if it was a guy or a kid. Like there are some people that if they told me they were 16 or if they told me they were 48, I would believe either one of them. Uh, and I don't think it was drugs because this guy was just coming from the gym at like 11 o'clock at night, which I go to open the door. So I try to explain to him, like, no, 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 like, you don't have to let me in. I need to try my key. I must have said that to him like three times during this interaction, and he just never really sat with him. But when I was going to open up the door, or finally afterwards, he starts going on to me about all of the gym equipment that doesn't work, and I was kind of like, yeah, like I'm not like I was not dressed in. I was wearing a polo and flip flops and shorts. Didn't look like I was going to get a late workout in necessarily, but he just really didn't quite have that. So finally, my key worked there, but then I end up on my elevator ride back up, and this guy's there with me, and like it was it's there's something in the eyes where like he had this held stare at me where it's like his eyes were smiling at me. That was kind of the look that the other maintenance guy, again, like the movie Fargo, and yeah, there's something to that. How the I know that that was set in North Dakota, but that whole yeah, there's they were on to some of those Coen brothers with that. But yeah, so this coffee's okay, which is actually kind of funny. This is Caribou coffee. I have ordered this stuff randomly. I don't know how I came across it. I think I was just looking for a decent light roast on Amazon one time, and this had good reviews and was in the price range, so I got it. It's all right. I'd much rather make it myself and not have to. Even when I was in the fucking coffee shop, I was standing like in line, and some woman that went to didn't exactly even acknowledge that she was coming up along me. She just kind of just walked past. I mean, she was a little bit wider. She had no acknowledgement of anything. Like usually, I would assume that, or I would probably be the one that would be conscious of size. There was another way that had a little bit more. It would have been like three or four extra steps. But even still, the way that she bumped into me, and I'm kind of just like, all right, I'm here to relax. I'm having fun on vacation, but that. Um, yeah, so I went to this. The one thing, coolest thing, right down the road from my hotel, there is a 24-hour diner. I got this most amazing, amazing. All right, yeah, let's go. S48DFN. Who the hell are you? Yeah, sounds good, man. What's up? Give me a question. You know anything about Minneapolis? What do you want to talk about? Or you just got in and got out of here. I never know if those live figures are actually correct. People are still talking. Yep, what's going on, bro? Went to this diner last night, which I asked the girl cutting my hair if it was a very, very 420 friendly town, and they said it is. I didn't see anybody that. There was one section where I was walking around that smelled a lot like weed, but I was literally around nothing but buildings and like actual weeds. Like I don't know if people are planting stuff in there or something, but I go to this, after the end of the night, I'm like, oh, they're like, where can I get ice cream, man? Like I feel like such a fucking weirdo now. Normally I'd be looking for a great bar. All right, have a going, bro. Normally, I'd be looking for a really, really good bar or something to go to, but just probably not the best idea. All right, we got somebody liking this. I just like I'm, stoned as shit, tired. And I was like, yeah, ice cream sounds great right now. So then I'm like looking around, and it seems like they keep those like out of like the real downtown. So then I see there's a 24-hour diner, and I fucking love 24-hour diners. I could literally, if I lived next to one, I would probably just eat every meal there if they were reasonably priced, that is. But because the 24-hour diner went away around me by a lot of them. I meant a good live. So Brian, okay, I hope you have a good live. Oh yeah, appreciate that. Good love. Good. Well, yeah, let's get good love too. Sure, why not, man? Nothing wrong with that. But I feel like next time I say but I'm gonna whip myself with this charging cord because I got to stop doing that. The diner, 24-hour diners, yeah, went away. Quite a few of them were during the COVID time, before COVID. Once COVID happened, a lot of them had to close down. I mean, some of them, ridiculously short hours. Not a lot of them came back to that one. I miss it. I mean, it was, I associate a lot of it with drunkenness. There is actually a 24-hour diner near me. I forgot about that back home, but 24-hour diner near your hotel, sure, why not? I went there, and high priced, but definitely a interesting staff, to say the least. Apparently, again, this was so strange because I actually had somebody that I think is a friendly person as a waiter, and he was being friendly to me because he told me how much he liked the milkshake that I ordered, because I ordered a chocolate, or it was a peanut butter and banana, two both ice creams mixed, and he's like, "Oh, that sounds really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it does, man." I'm like, "I really care. I can't wait for this." So then he started chatting a little bit, because then I asked him, there was something on him. It's not that I don't think I can do it. It's just I just don't want to ruin my day. This they have this barbarian breakfast challenge, and what it is this giant buttermilk pancake, which I want to see. I need a picture of it, or I need to. I would need a sample of their food to see if I would even want to try to do this. But it was a giant buttermilk pancake, 6 eggs, which 6 eggs is kind of like a routine breakfast for me at this point. Maybe 4 to 6, but eggs are pretty easy to take down if you get them fried. That is, because you just do a shot of yolk. Is the way I look at it. You literally just pick it up and you just kind of just press down, and then let the yolk. Yeah, it's. I do it all the time. It's how I get this. Yeah, horrible physique that I got going. So there's the 6 eggs. Then you have 6 strips of bacon. Okay, 4 sausage patties. Now I want to know, that's where the real deal breaker is, because if you have and I don't want to say this with the group of kind of people that were working at this place, but if you have bad sausage, yeah, that could ruin your day. And then there was, I guess, some ham slices on there. Now, that, again, that could be. Are we talking like deli cut ham slices? Are we talking about like actual ham steaks? I wanted to see what that could look like, and then hash browns. Now that's probably gonna be the part that does you in on that one. It's $56, but if you finish it in 60 minutes, you win a shirt, and it's completely free. So I looked at the guy and I was like, I think I could do that. And he started laughing at me, and I get it. I'm not very big. I mean, especially yesterday, I'm probably rocking about a 5'7", 162 yesterday or so. So it definitely don't look like I could be a big eater, but I hang out with some big guys. They'll tell you that I can put it down. I could probably, under the ideal circumstances, is that, if I was to go work out, which I'm going to do anyways after this, but if I was to work out really, really hard, I could definitely work up enough of a hunger that it would not be too hard to do that, because my body would actually require that much food. It would actually, and it wouldn't feel. It's not how hard it would be to eat it. I'm not sure about the time constraint on that. I feel like something like that, if you don't get it in an hour, you have really no chance, because I don't think that pancake is going to hold up well over time with all the stuff that's on there. It's one of those things that if this channel was bigger or something like that, which, if anyone can like, subscribe, share, anything. I mean, if I've given you anything you know, to think on, you can. If I was like, able to do this, I mean, I'm sure I could post it as content, just attempting it, but I don't really feel like being one of those douche guys that subjects myself. I'm a different kind of douche. So I would like to do it. Just I would ruin the rest of my day. I might go get a good steak, later on or something, or I'm gonna have to go to the ball game. Want to walk around the city a little more. If I was to consume that monstrosity of a dish, I'm probably just gonna be back in my hotel room, just hoping to God that my bowels can pass it through. That might not happen, and then I might make for the worst passenger on a flight tomorrow. There we go, Stefan. What's up, buddy? Fuck these people. Anyways, yeah, so if I had the channel going for this one, I could probably fundraise enough money, because if I was to not finish that, I've lost money yesterday on a degenerate bet on my walk into the casino or into the ballpark that I can live with. I could not live with if I lost $56 trying to eat a fucking giant plate. Because here's the thing: the people that were working this place, I'll just describe it without describing it too much. The guy, yes, the guy, or I'm not sure if he wants to be, not sure if they want to be called that, had a bull ring that was like this down to here, long hair, glasses, and I'd say was probably running about 6 foot, 120 pounds. A lot of people like that. My server was a very nice gentleman, Calvin. Calvin, Calvin had the same haircut, or had like the same haircut and hair as me. But Calvin, I believe, was African American, which was straight. He definitely had like this kind of the hair. Call me the worst. I'm not used to people having the same haircut as me. Yeah. But he was there. There was quite a few others, which again, yeah, that was the big guy there. He was the one that was yelling at Calvin, because Calvin actually seemed to enjoy talking to me, and actually was like one of the friendly guys in town so far. But everybody else seemed a little bit, you know, we used to call it this once upon a time. Jaron Duran might have some words that they may have used some words that these people may not have liked, would be the best way to describe it. I can't count on them necessarily, and I just I would don't get the best confidence of food of that ilk from someone like that. Now, if I see like the cook from the Great Outdoors from the old 96er scene, if that guy comes out and drops off a plate of fucking meat and eggs and everything on there, I got a feeling it's gonna be pretty good. So that's the other thing. What if I just, get the whole fucking, $56 of breakfast thing and I'm like, yeah, it's not the matter that I can't eat it. Your food just sucks. Well, then I got the real big thing because like, I it's a terrible sin to waste food. I would be that guy because no one's gonna ever take all the discarded thing. The person who just spent all that time cooking that up for me, which this was something that I don't know if I did or did not like because, well, it put me in an awkward spot. This place had a spot on the receipt where you could leave a tip, and then you could leave a tip directly for the cook. Now, I got a milkshake that was ended up being like $14. So the idea of the $5 milkshake from Pulp Fiction, we're way past there. But this was actually a fucking horker of a milkshake. Like where for starters too, felt like the biggest douchebag because I'm going to a diner sitting by myself. So yeah, put me at the counter, the bar, so I can feel like an overgrown child again. They give you. I was like really looking for. They could have given me something in a fucking paper cup that I could have sucked through with a straw. They gave me this giant cone thing that the guy filled to the top and put up in whipped cream. That the second he put down in front of me had. The second I moved the spoon on this thing, all of a sudden ice cream starts pouring down the sides of it. They gave me a napkin about this thin to put it on, and then on the side I had this other giant, like the steel cup that was filled with even more of it. So I'm sitting there just going like, great, this guy just fucking cleaned up the counter. He just gave me this. How am I not going to make the biggest mess possible? Yeah, and then that was the other thing too. Some girl sat down and which this is one of those diners you can get cocktails. Girl sits down, she has a cocktail. She kind of looks over to me. Honestly, I would have been needed like several drinks for me to have ever felt good about anything that could have happened with her and I. But she kind of started chatting me up a little bit because of the she had something weird happen that she started talking to me. I started talking back. That was apparently nope, not allowed to do that in this town, or just kind of got the weird look. But maybe as an overgrown man, and again, I keep forgetting with the 200 milligrams of THC in me, might have looked a little strange just mowing down on a milkshake. Which, by the way, the server, who when I told him I was interested in trying this challenge, looked at me like I had absolutely no chance. I don't like when people look at me like that. It's a little man syndrome thing. I'm pretty sure. Some people might be right on this one, but in this case with the eating thing, I can't cause myself physical pain like losing in a fight, but you know, I can mow down. So as he was watching me really work through this, because he was like, "You sure you want a double shake?" I'm like, "I want the biggest shake you have." So again, I did just kind of compromise my other story. But when he watched how quickly I got through that, which maybe again as I described the scene there, maybe he was just boosting my ego. He was like, "Holy shit, you just got that whole thing down that quick." He was like, "I have to reconsider." Now, like I said, I don't think I want to do this $60 breakfast challenge, but yeah, it could be fun. But I also think that like for $60, I'm probably go to a good steakhouse, and if we'll probably get like a 24-ounce steak maybe somewhere. That's I think that's the play because yesterday I ate like shit, and that's good to do like once every now and again. But I feel like shit right now a little bit. But I don't know exactly where the journey is going to take me today. I just know we're going back to Target Field again. Terrible day of. Had some very very close calls on the betting yesterday. I ended up the Kyle Isbell degenerate thing. I realized again, look good, play good. So I might have to bet him to get some hits today because him and I are still sporting the same haircut from the same beautiful girl that cut it. So Bella, if you ever see this, I just want to know: did you like me more than you like Kyle Isbell? Because I looked at him. I mean, he kind of looks like one of my old roommates a little bit. Only he had like a mopier look of his face to him, and maybe that's why she misread. Maybe he wasn't really distraught about anything. That's just his demeanor. Okay, he's like 5'11", 190. He's got me in a couple inches some bigger size. He's playing in the big leagues, but I guarantee you my batting average in softball is like three times. He's hitting 230 something. I'm like almost like three times his batting average in slow pitch softball. So, and I'm gonna have a much longer career doing that. So, just throwing that one out there. If you ever see this, Bella. Uh, but yeah, so you had that. Pablo Lopez yesterday was a little bit of a disappointment. He Here's what I understand: Pablo Lopez, who pitched pretty okay yesterday, he gave up an early home run to Bobby Witts. He gave up the hit to Kyle Isbell, which was kind of a, it was not the most hardest hit ball. It was just like a nicely placed hit down the first baseline or to a dive, past a diving first baseman. He probably still would have beaten the play out of there. Come to think of it, even if the defender gets in front of it, or maybe it was the second baseman. But it was down that line. It's irrelevant at this point. But I had the prop of Pablo Lopez to have over 5.5 strikeouts. He had two in the first inning, and I think he even struck out the first guy in the second inning. So it's like, oh, like I remember at one point going, I impulsively made this bet, and I thought about making it for more, and I scaled it back because I knew it was an impulsive bet. And then I was like, I should have fucking had the whole thing on this. Fuck. Now he ends up finishing with 5 pitches deep in the game. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Brady Singer of the Royals, he got rocked. He gave up 6 in the fucking second inning, but he still got 7 strikeouts. Like, it's amazing how it's either, kind of with the batters out there, some guys are just a home run, a walker, the 3 true outcomes. Yeah, I guess he either gets a shit pushed in or he pushes it in himself. There's no other direction for him, I guess. But definitely was key with the Twins. I guess it's nice. The city of Chicago was not nice to me yesterday, and maybe they're not happy that I'm cheating on them by going to another Midwestern city. I had the Cubs in in general, I need the Indians to the Guardians to fall off a little bit because I have the Twins or the Royals to win the division. So when the Cubs are up 3-0 with Shota Imanaga or whatever the hell his name is, he's on my fantasy team. I know that much. The best pitching staff I've ever assembled at fantasy baseball, which is probably not going to win me any money because I can't fucking steal a base or get a hit to save my life. Or I can't. It's not me. It's those guys. It's their fault. I'm just the one that picked them. But I'm sure at some point you'll be hearing my rant on fantasy football and how much of a fucking loser you are if you still play it and think it actually matters. Or maybe I'll save that for another time. Or less aggressive language on that one. But fuck it. I mean, that was whack. We're not going to cause any terrible damage, and I just realized that someone, if they saw it, might not know that I said I was going to do that. Yeah. So the Guardians come back and they went up 8-3 when the Cubs are up 3-0 for a little bit. So that was like I had this parlay that I placed in either New York or New Jersey. I forget. It was a long day yesterday. I can't really access them to check them. I just knew in my head what I had taken. But all of a sudden the Cubs are rallying back and they actually get it tied to 8-8 and they end up losing. But I had that. I knew the Reds were going to beat the Cardinals yesterday. The Cardinals against a lefty, Sonny Gray, just not the ace. I don't even know if Sonny Gray's he's not even a high end 2 to me. I'm not even sure if he is a 2 on a realistic contending team. He's just a weird guy. I mean, if you ever watch an interview with him, he's just a strange guy. And I think he just goes a different version of him goes out to the mound every other inning. He can be moving along for 4 or 5, couple innings, and then just nothing. Or he can do the opposite. It's just inning, bipolar. Not to poke fun at mental illness or anything like that, because if you follow the show enough, I've got a little tinge of that going with me. But I caught myself there. It wouldn't have mattered anyways because when you're building these parlays together, which are terrible bets, but they're fun. Just going to throw that out there. I'm on vacation, have a little fun. I don't have time to be monitoring I'm monitoring them, but I don't want to be throwing major money down on anything. Hey, let's just throw the Yankees in there. They're playing the White Sox. It's almost like a free parlay leg if you're playing the White Sox, right? I'm so glad that the Guardians had gotten there because if it had been the Yankees who left most runners on base since 2011, I'm not sure if it was for their franchise history or for MLB, but when you lose by 10 runs to the White Sox in a game where you left I think it was 12 or 13 or some ridiculous number of guys on base, if I had lost the parlay because that would have sucked. Pablo Lopez, because the one thing I bet is I had Royce Lewis to have over 2 total bases, the Royals to have under 3.5 runs, Twins to win. Or no, I didn't have Twins to win in that one. I just had Pablo Lopez to have 5.5 strikeouts, Byron Buxton to have 2 total bases. Byron Buxton is such a kryptonite for me. I lived in Rochester, New York, when Byron Buxton played for the Rochester Red Wings. I used to joke that he would be nothing more, that he was just a quadruple A player because he would tear it up in Triple A, get called up to the show, not do very well, go back down, rinse, wash, repeat. He finally got it together, but he's also been somebody that, somebody in my fantasy league drafted Byron Buxton this year. And the first thing I could say is going, best 40 games of your life. Because I had Byron Buxton so many times in fantasy, and you're like, I actually realistically remember talking to somebody saying, a full season, if he plays a full season, we might think that Byron Buxton is as good as Mike Trout. Well, now they are kind of as good as one another because Mike Trout can't play a full season, which is really sad. But yesterday, I had Byron Buxton to have 2 total bases. Again, irrelevant because Pablo Lopez didn't get there. He hit 2 balls. He fucking smoked the line drive just right at the left fielder. And then he had a warning track shot for his second one. And then I don't know if he got hurt or he got subbed out of the game, which again, Bobby Witt yesterday, I thought that was going to be scary. I'm actually going to post the shorts of that video in just a little bit of I have the actual pitch he got hit and the whole reaction, and you can kind of see the collective ass cheeks clench of everybody that's involved with the Kansas City Royals. But yeah, I got to break down that. I guess we got Seth Lugo. I don't know who's going for the Twins today, but a pretty, again, I must say, but the Midwestern cities or the Midwestern teams, not just because of the color aesthetic, but just kind of the way that the things are. Minneapolis is much bigger than Cleveland, I believe. But the way that there was fans that actually cared, that were engaged in the game, and like there wasn't, it's a lot of empty seats. Not one of the biggest attended places. My seats were very. I now realize I'm an idiot. I probably should just wait until around game time to buy tickets. But fuck, didn't idiot. So sorry. Anyways, just kidding around with that. But if shit, I just fucking did that again. Every time I do the we're gonna have to have someone do a counter, a meter. I'm gonna have to do some type of a penance for that one. Hold me accountable for this shit. You hear that? That's dead air. But caught myself there. Twins. Oh yeah, the Twin fans, shouted like. I mean, the multiple times, that was the most frustrating thing. Pablo Lopez had guys down 0-2, 1-2 so many times, and they'd get the crowd, like the light show, stand up going. There was some people that were really yelling for Pablo Lopez. I just hate, there's certain things about not drinking that I hate. I love the part of waking up and not feeling like shit. That's amazing. I love the part about not spending all the money. I miss the part where you don't give a shit and you can potentially put, there can be, it's a batting average thing, we'll call it, as far as being outspoken in public with humor. I'd like to think that you can be like a slugger in this sense where the batting average doesn't always have to be there, but as long as you hit a couple home runs. But I had a couple of things lined up for, again, these are only going to be things that were probably going to be funny to me because I was the only one that knew that Kyle Isbell had got his haircut the same as me. But I really thought that if I could have yelled out a nice heckle at him about that, hey, Kyle, she liked me more, something along those lines. But then I realized, okay, like I'm by myself here, and there's a bunch of people that might think I'm some kind of fucking strange weirdo there, and I don't really need the anxiety of that. But yet here I am on the internet. So that's it for part 4 of this one. It's the morning time. I'm gonna go hit the gym up, get a good work in, and then there's this place that everyone says is a real big breakfast store deal. They have a Bloody Mary bar. I wanted where you can actually get like all the accoutrement to it. I want to know if they'll not look at me like a fucking strange person if I get it without vodka, and 2, if they'll verify if there's no vodka in that one, because it's one of those things you want to take the pictures of. I get the feeling some people are worried that I'm drunk right now or on this trip, which is not the case. But I'm gonna would probably do something like that. Probably have a steakhouse. We got to figure out the bets for today. So if anybody has any tips, anything that you want to drop by me while I'm in the Minneapolis area, you can hit me up at SCHO525 on Instagram or the Scho-Zone podcast at Gmail. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do what you got to do. I'll be going live a couple times throughout the evening, so get the notifications on, and you can join me as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.